In the previous episode, Woo Jin got to the tower and then reached the third floor, where he found a passage to the boss's lair, whom he killed and saved Sungjun. Soon Jin decided to try what the royal slime tasted like, and the spirit suggested that the sweetness it would make would be phenomenal. After tasting the royal slime, the man was shocked. He really liked the flavor, and it reminded him of the durian fruit, which is famous for its heavenly flavor, though it still tasted a bit strange. But unlike the strong and pungent odor, the royal slime was sweet and mild. Jin felt that this royal slime wasn't a boss for nothing, and the effort was worth it. He couldn't stand it any longer, as he wanted to cook something out of it sooner. In that case, he decided to start cooking. Looking at the recipes he could make, the man expected to see that there would be some special sherbet here. After all, it was made from royal slime. But it seemed ordinary. Looking at the system window, Jin assumed that the recipe was missing some part, but the spirit countered that she could guarantee that there were no mistakes in the recipe. She didn't understand how the young man could doubt the recipe. The man became embarrassed, and in that case, he decided that he would cook everything according to the recipe. First, he would boil the liquid in a pot to sweeten the flavor, then grind the frozen core into a fine powder. Placing the cube in a black vacuum ball, he began to split it to get the powder. Watching what he was doing now, the man realized that this was not why he had created this martial art. In his world, countless people had died from this technique. In any case, Jin added the pulverized cube to the bowl, where the royal slime liquid was. Carefully mixing the powder with the liquid, the man noticed that the viscosity had increased quite a bit. And according to the recipe, this trick works with all slimes. Jin remembered his past experience in cooking when he was making yokan. Last time he didn't have that texture when he melted the liquid and mixed the core. He figured it was likely that the cooking method would change as soon as the ingredient changed. Jin found this activity to be fun, and soon the dish itself, royal slime sherbet, was ready. This dish was ranked E+, and its quality was level A. The system also reported that this unique dish was created by a legendary dungeon chef. This dish perfectly captured the unique properties of the slime. The energy of the royal slime had become purer due to the perfect cooking method. In such a case, the man immediately gained several achievements and also raised his level. Jin asked the spirit if she wanted to try it, and the girl couldn't wait to taste this perfect dish. And as they were about to begin their meal, they heard the sighs of Sungjun, who was currently sitting by the tree with a visibly sore head. Sungjun wondered how long he'd been unconscious. Looking at the man sitting by the tree, Jin saw that his mana had not recovered as much, though he had woken up earlier than he had expected. Sungjun was clearly not well. He expressed that his body felt like it was on fire. Moreover, touching his ribs, he thought he had broken a few pieces, but yet he could still move. He looked at Woo Jin, who was talking to his spirit about sharing this dish with him, making the girl unhappy. Sungjun remembered that at that moment, he saw everything correctly. Woo Jin had killed the Slime King just before he passed out. Sungjun even assumed that the thing in Jin's hands was the hidden element he had been looking for so long. The man blamed himself for being too careless. While the spirit was trying to taste this dessert, Sungjun thought about the fact that now the hidden element of the training tower was in Jin's hands, and once the hidden element appeared, it would not appear again. He didn't know what he should do now, since all his plans had been disrupted. Sungjun assumed that he was in a situation where he could get the hidden element, and even made sure that Woo Jin was distracted by the other slimes. He thought about suppressing him on the first floor with his superior weapon, or at least defeating the boss together and sharing the reward. But now it was over. The man considered that he was now left with nothing. Suddenly, the man decided to calm down and think it over, because Jin hadn't stolen the hidden element from him completely yet. He didn't think about Jin sharing this hidden element with him, in which case, he assumed that he had to take the hidden element using his own power. After pulling himself together, Sungjun decided that this time, no one would stop him. And when the man decided to attack Woo Jin, he offered him a taste of his dish. To Sungjun's confusion, he didn't know what to say. Jin didn't understand why the man was silent, but Sungjun just opened his mouth without making a sound. In that case, Jin said that the man could try it too, because after all, Sungjun must be really tired. Sungjun, of course, said thank you, but he didn't understand why Jungwoo Jin would share it with him. Although he didn't care at this point, since this was his chance to try out this dish. But still, he had his doubts, but still felt that it should be okay, since people in the training tower can't kill each other. At this moment, Jin was happily watching Sungjun taste his dish. When the man tasted the royal sherbet, his brain literally almost exploded, and steam came out of his nose. It was then that Sungjun realized that Jin was the contracting spirit of the cooking records, but he didn't understand why this dish had such a disgusting taste. The man didn't understand how he could cook something inedible, and how could it be food? He thought that since the girl was a spirit, her taste buds might be strange. But he didn't understand how Jin, being human, could eat something like this. Sungjun didn't realize, was this the hidden part of the training tower? In that case, he must eat it, for the sake of saving the future world, and he should definitely endure it. Finally, when Sojun tried some more, a system window appeared in front of him, informed the young man that by consuming the royal sherbet, he was absorbing pure energy, and his mana stats increased by 5 points. This stunned the man, for this was the first time he had heard that if one consumed a hidden element, his stats could change. Sungjun couldn't believe that this was the ability of the secret element that increased stats by eating food. Soon, Jin approached Sungjun and asked him how he tasted this dish. At this moment, Sungjun thought that since the ingredient in this dish was a monster, he could understand why it tasted so good. And since Jin had tried his best, he was very grateful to him. In that case, the man decided to say that it was very tasty. Jin asked if that was true, and the man answered in the affirmative, and also thanked him for saving him. But suddenly, Jin stood in front of the man, and Sungjun knew that he should run away from here, because otherwise, Jungwoo Jin would make him eat other food. But Jin was still looking at the man with a distrustful and angry look. Sungjun nervously laughed as he stood up from the ground and once again thanked him for saving him, and for Jin sharing his food with him. In that case, Jin offered to try some other dishes as well, but the man immediately refused and then started to run away. After all, he didn't want to be inconvenienced by his behavior. This situation stunned Jin in spirit, who didn't understand what had happened. Jin looked at the fleeing man and suddenly felt sad, and so did the spirit, because she thought that this man was very good, since he recognized Jungwoo Jin's culinary skills. Then, the young man thought that maybe they would meet again, and since tomorrow was the last day, Jin offered to gather some more ingredients, and the spirit was happy to hear that. While at the Seoul City Hall, where the portal to the training tower was opened, Jungwoo Jin came out of the portal, and a girl who was happy to get some fresh air. In that case, he told her to go back, and the girl obeyed. The system informed Jin that he had completed the training tower course, and he was now an official hunter. As Jin thought about status cards and mentors, he noticed something approaching him from behind, so he immediately grabbed a yellow flying spirit or something, showing this little guy how dangerous he was by summoning the aura of an intimidating black dragon behind him. Jin didn't understand what this thing was, and the spirit was startled and asked the chef to calm down. In that case, the system asked if Jin wanted to know how to use the Sasang Chagwa Ibedenri. In that case, looking at the system, he was curious about it, and the system showed a guide on how to use it. In that case, he decided to try it, and the yellow clot immediately entered Jin's body, which surprised the man. The system also told the inventory status, both of which, if you think about it, everything can be opened. It informed that Jin could check his status and feel free to add things there. The system also notified Jin that he has a daily cooking dungeon task. He has to serve his food to other people, and Jin assumed it wasn't as bad as he thought, because remembering his brother, he didn't mind cooking because he does it all the time. But serving it to someone else would be very difficult. Soon, Jin was disturbed by a voice that was dissatisfied that he had left without warning him. It was Jin's brother, named Sung Ho, who was waiting for Jin here at this place. But the man didn't understand why his brother was in this place. Sun Ho took Jin by his shoulders, saying that he came here for him, since Jin came from the 3rd floor of the tower. And not to be unsubstantiated, Sung Ho suggested that Woo Jin go to Cheon-ik right away. In that case, Jin took his brother's advice and was already there. and the girl was surprised that they were now near the military academy of hunters. But still, Jin explained that he didn't think he would be accepted, since he only went to the first floor. But Sung-ho couldn't believe that his brother was only on the first floor. While Jin was cleaning his ears from the annoying sounds, his brother kept telling Jin that he would recommend him to the guild, and if he passed the internship, Jin would be in the same guild as Sung-ho. But Jin replied with a refusal. In this case, Sung-ho didn't understand how he could refuse, because if he joined his guild, he would receive a schedule of dungeons depending on his abilities, and he would also receive a social package and all the necessary equipment. It's for this reason that Jin doesn't want to do it. And Sung-ho doesn't understand his brother and has already begun to hate him. But Jin said that he only became a hunter to reach a higher level as a chef. But Sung-ho thought his brother had given up being a chef and joined the Tower of Learning. But Jin reported that he would never give up cooking. In that case, Sung-ho explained to his brother that if he continued like that, he would regret it very much. But Jin didn't understand why. Sung-ho explained that if he didn't join the guild within a week after the tower was vacated, the country would force him to go to the Hunter Academy. Jin wondered if he meant the military academy, and Sung-ho shouted that he was. Jin would become a cadet. He explained that Jin will become a hunter at the State Military Academy. It sounds like a military academy, but the treatment there is crap, and it's not easy to transfer to a private guild. The education system there is outdated, and there are prejudices against people who didn't go through the intelligence and enter the military academy. Sung-ho went on to explain that an academy hunter could enter any dungeon, as long as there was a watcher, but it's still more dangerous than Jin can imagine. At this moment, Jin smiled widely and asked again, was it true that he could enter any dungeon? In that case, he decided to think about it, but he was a bit tired right now. Sung-ho agreed, but asked him to make up his mind before he was dragged into the military academy. And Jin replied in agreement that he would try to decide on his own. Just when Jin thought he had one more week, he saw a notification on his phone that he was expected at the military academy. Otherwise, if he didn't show up, he could be removed from his hunter rank. It was then that Jin assumed that now he would have to choose carefully. Jin was in his home and was cooking something in the kitchen. He was glad that he was home now, because unlike the tower where the only ingredient was slime, there were many ingredients on the surface. Looking at the system window, Jin was glad that because he had daily quests, he could go up another level too. His daily cooking quest was completed, but serving his own food to others unfortunately failed. He tried to feed his new dish to Sung-ho, but he refused to eat such a horrible meal, suggesting that he would die immediately. The saddened girl asked, if Jin does go to the military academy, he won't give up cooking, right? And Jin said that's why he became a hunter, so he won't stop cooking when he enters the academy. Soon, Jin received a call from an employee of the military academy, and Jin couldn't understand. How did they know he had come to them? In that case, they ordered the man to come inside. While in the main gym of the Hunter's Academy, Jin noticed that there were a lot of different people gathered here, which the girl was also surprised by. She thought that the atmosphere in this gym was quite unusual, judging from the looks and stares of the people around them, who were clearly nervous. Looking at this hall, Jin was surprised that of an abandoned middle school, this place was quite clean. And soon looking through the crowd, he noticed a girl standing alone. And no one understood why this Bak Sol Ha had come here after all. She should be in her father's guild. Soon, Jin also noticed Sung-yoon, who hadn't noticed him yet, but he never thought that he would meet this man so soon. Then, someone finally started walking toward them, toward the crowd of people, and the spirit noticed that his head looked like a griffin egg. The academy representatives said that they were continuing the graduation ceremony for the academy commandants. Suddenly, the tension in the room began to rise, making everyone shiver. And then the man announced that he was the director of the Hunter Academy. Everyone began to whisper that this man was over 2,000 years old. The principal said that he worked at the academy day in and day out. At this moment, Jin remembered that voice and aura, and now he couldn't believe that such a thing was possible. This was his most loyal henchman, who was insanely strong, capable of destroying 100 people by himself. This was the head man of the 3 Tendai Shinto men. The headmaster continued to explain that the most important thing was the cadet's attitude towards their studies. And at this moment, Jin realized that his ward, Blood Horse Kwok Chian, had also been reborn. Guys, if you may have noticed, I'm translating from Korean and making videos for it, since in English, many chapters take a long time to come out. So I'd like to ask you to be active. Give me a like and leave a comment with the secret word, kitchen. This way I will realize that you have watched this video to the end and my efforts were not in vain. And what if we do this? If you until tomorrow you gain 1,000 likes under this video, then I will immediately release the continuation of this manhwa, because the chapters in English will be released very soon. So far I've done a retelling up to and including chapter 8. All in all, if you want to see the next installment, I'll be expecting crazy activity from you. That's all for now. See you all again and bye-bye.